At this park in Houston, Beto O'Rourke is meeting college students. The 50-year-old Democrat hopes to defeat his Republican opponent on November 8th, and he's using abortion to try to rally voters across the state.
Thanks to Greg Abbott, our current governor, we have the most extreme abortion ban in America. It begins at conception. There's no exception for rape. There's no exception for incest. So here's my thinking. If Texas women won the way 50 years ago, then Texas women are going to win it back today in 2000.
The overturning of Roe v. Wade earlier this year shocked many in this mostly young crowd.
As a woman, it's just a little bit scary to think about, our state of living right now.
You can't stop abortions, you can only stop safe abortions. And so, Governor Abbott and a lot of these new laws that are being put in place in the U.S., they're going to hurt people.
I think that's another reason to get out and vote. Not the only reason, but it's for sure a big reason.
After the rally, supporters are given time to take pictures with the candidate. Many of them will be posted online, potentially attracting undecided voters. And as soon as they're done, campaign volunteers try to convince others to join them.
This will be my first time volunteering, going door to door, but I'm really excited about it. I especially feel like in Houston, there's a lot of moderate people who could swing either way, and I think just having someone actually come and talk to them and make an effort could really make a big difference.
O'Rourke is facing an uphill battle in the polls. Making abortion one of the pillars of his campaign is a strategy he endorses.
It has had a galvanizing effect on the electorate, especially young voters and clearly among young women. These voters represent the margin of victory.
But Democrats aren't the only ones talking to voters about abortion. A pro-choice rally is underway in downtown Austin when suddenly 20 students roll out an anti-abortion banner. Sarah has been a pro-life activist since she was a teenager. The two groups face off, another sign of how polarizing the issue is.
We've had the Texas heartbeat law for over a year, and women are not dying from not having abortions. They're not.
The Supreme Court's ruling last June means each state can now implement its own rules. In Texas, abortion is only allowed if the mother has a life-threatening medical emergency. Still too much for these activists.
Even though Roe has been reversed, we now have state battles to think about. And so going into state legislators and passing either chemical abortion bans or heartbeat bans or life at conception acts is what Students for Life Action works on, and we're doing that state by state. And at the federal level, we hope to see a ban as well in the coming future.
Across the state, more than half of the 23 abortion clinics have already closed. The others are only open a few hours a week. And despite this massive legal win, conservatives aren't slowing down when it comes to their battle to win hearts and minds. At this church north of Austin, Mass has just ended. Parishioners, mostly Latino, are then asked to come inside and watch a sonogram.
This is a little 17-week baby.
The medical procedure is carried out live right behind the big screen, and children are given front row seats to the presentation.
And we can see this is the heart. You see the heart beating here? And you can see this is the color flow that shows the blood flowing through the baby's heart.
Pro-life organizations are also there with pamphlets and rubber fetuses to try to convince attendees.
If we can educate people who haven't decided on this issue, that babies who are clearly vital, who are alive, would be at risk if Beto O'Rourke's elected, we think that's a great motivating factor for them to get out and vote for Greg Abbott and other pro-life candidates.
In Texas, 1 in 5 voters is Hispanic, a community that could make or break an election. At this Latin music festival, the Mi Familia Vota organization has set up shop. Its goal is to promote citizen involvement and encourages people to register to vote.
Do you want to do it real quick? It takes about 2 minutes.
Filling out a short form is all that is needed to end up on voter rolls.
Are you planning on voting in November?
Yeah, I need to.
Good.
For these newly registered voters, there's one issue that keeps coming up.
Well, the main issue for me is the abortion ban. It's I don't think that the governors should have a say on somebody's body. But I think the older ones, like my mom or dad or my family members, I think they're like old school and they're like, oh no, abortion is against God's law.
These differences are often underrepresented on Election Day because of the lower number of Latinos who are registered to vote.
They call us a sleeping giant because they do know that if all of us were to turn out to vote, we could turn around elections. So our vote is very important.
There is a lot at stake here. Studies suggest that Latina women are among the groups most affected by the ban on abortion.